Hello,
I'm Pooja,
I'm Kritika,
and welcome to the Best Friend podcast. So, in the previous episode,
Hmm.
it went pretty viral. A lot of
Yeah,
our friends, a lot of people we forgot about, or a lot of people that we weren't in touch with,
reached
they
out.
they reached out to us,
Yeah,
and they reached out to Kitta
yeah,
mostly.
and it was very sweet. Like we got a lot of feedback from people saying, you guys are doing great. It's so fun listening to you. Thank you so much. It was very sweet and it was very motivating also because we know at least we're heading
In
in
the right
some
direction.
direction. Yeah.
True. So, this episode,
Hmm.
it's gonna be a little controversial, and we are gonna talk about toxic feminism.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna talk about in this episode. And a lot of people have different definitions for feminism, their
Hmm.
point of view, their perspective. And
Hmm.
what do you think your definition of feminism is?
My definition of feminism is, the men and the women being equal, not physically because that's not possible, but in the area of opportunity or in the terms of
Relationships,
doing things or relationships, of course. Um, yeah,
workplace.
that's my definition.
For me, over the years, my definition of feminism changed based on my emotional maturity at that point,
Hmm.
at that point of my life.
Hmm.
And back in school, it, I mean, looking back at it now, it was not something that I would appreciate today.
Hmm.
And I am glad I grew, and found out about things, read about things, and my
Hmm.
point of view changed over time. But right now, for me, what feminism is about equalism in opportunities and at workplace or
Hmm.
relationship or just putting in efforts, both in a relationship or whatever sort of whatever sort of rapport you have with that
Ratio, yeah,
rapport
bond.
bond you have with that person at your workplace or
Yeah.
at home with your
Hmm.
parents or with your significant other.
Hmm.
And one thing that I want to point out is, we're huge supporters of LGBTQ
Yeah.
community, and we acknowledge the fact that people identify, differently.
Yeah, this is just our opinion right
And
now.
the thing that we're sticking to right now is more traditional,
Biological.
biological men and biological women is
Yeah,
what we're sticking to in this podcast.
yeah.
And we're not delving very deep into all the, areas,
Mm.
but mainly about what we've experienced.
Yeah, and it's just what we think. We are not trying to impose this on any of you. It's just our thought. And if you relate to it, give us a like, comment.
Comment down.
Yeah,
And if you have a different point of view,
let us know.
let us know as well.
Yeah, we're open to feedback.
Absolutely. And for me,
Yeah.
for toxic feminism, now that I think about it,
Mm.
back in the day when I was in school,
Yeah,
what I would do is people or just girls, like
yeah,
biological females back at that point, straight people,
mm.
straight females
Yeah.
who were very girly, very pinky, people like you
Mm.
who love dressing up, makeup, and
Mm.
hair and all of that, like a very
Proper.
that mainstream media portrayal of a girly girl.
Correct.
That for me was not feminism. For me, feminism was about being dominant, about being assertive, about being really good at sports, being
Yeah,
physically strong,
yeah.
and
Like not letting any man put you down.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my toxic thing back then was that I would put these girls down,
Mm.
and right now it feels like a very shitty thing that I've done back in the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I was a kid, that was what toxic, I mean, that was what feminism was for me. Like, girly girls were not feminists. It was only,
They were weak
they
according
were
to her.
weak
Yeah.
according to me. And that's a very shit perspective to have, at least from my point of view.
Yeah. I mean, that was your perspective. People grow, people change. And what bothers me the most, and it always has, is how women do these great things, right? Like they achieve so many things in their professional life. They have such a perfect balance in their personal life, and they are so many role models. Like they say ना कि एक लड़की किसी की भाई बहन है, बेटी है, माँ है. But my question or my
Point.
point is एक लड़का भी किसी का भाई है, किसी का बेटा है, किसी का बाप है.
Over demonizing or over generalizing the other
Yeah,
gender.
it's very I want to say unnecessary, but
Unreasonable
yeah,
also.
it's become like
Too much these days on
correct.
social media.
Yeah, that if I'm a woman and I'm handling so many things, I'm great. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I feel like men also do all of these things. Like they also handle their work life, they also handle their family life, and it's just that I don't think they make as much noise as much the women do. And see, when you look at a woman like my mom, for example, right? She's a single parent now, but even when my dad was there, she did go to school, she did come home and cook, and she did come and take care of me, do my homework and all of that. And then it's very inspiring to look at her from what she's become to now that she's a single parent. She handles everything on her own, right? But even when my dad was there, it's not like he didn't know how to cook. He would cook sometimes. It's just that my mom enjoyed doing all of that. She loved having the balance. She loved cooking for her man. She loved cooking for her family. She liked taking care and doing her job. Like it was a choice that she made. It's not like she was forced upon. So I'm not saying that these women who multitask are any less. I'm just saying that don't put yourself on a pedestal.
More importantly, don't put somebody else
Down.
down.
Hmm.
And like you said, my father and my mother, they've had a very equal relationship at home.
Hmm.
And my father would cook on a lot of days. I mean, he loves cooking, so it would come very naturally to him. And my mom is not very fond of cooking,
Yeah.
so she's somebody who will whip up quick recipes, and my father likes making
Everything
elaborate
from the scratch.
scratch and all of that.
Yeah.
And both my parents
Yeah.
were working. My mom took an early retirement,
Hmm.
but my mom would go to work. She would come back home. She would cook some. My dad would go to work. He would come back home. He would cook. Or if the maid wouldn't come home at times, they would clean and dust the house or whatever, both together.
Correct.
And even when we would go out, let's say me, my sister, and my mom were free, and we'd go to the mall. My father, if he found out that okay, we were going to the mall, he would make it a point to come along with us, like put his work aside for a little while and come along with us, to have like family time and all of that.
Yeah.
And they never made like a huge deal out of it.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think is because neither of them put each other down, saying
Correct.
you don't put in effort, you don't put
Yeah.
in effort, I'm doing more of a traditional lady role, or you're doing a more manly role, and I don't think you're doing this enough for me or that enough for me. So they never had to like raise their voice or voice out their concern regarding equal contribution at home.
Yeah. I mean, there are no assigned roles that women is supposed to do this or men is supposed to do that. That's the whole concept of feminism, right? That just because you're a woman, you're supposed to stay in the kitchen. Are you kidding me? The greatest chefs in the world are men. Okay. And I'm not saying that if you enjoy cooking like how she does, like if you compare both of us, she enjoys cooking more than I do, and she does that. It's not that I now have started to cook sometimes. I only do that.
And you do it because you like cooking for your husband.
Right. And I'm bored out of my mind. Like I want to do something and I see some easy recipe on Instagram and I'm like, this looks very easy, let me do it. That's the extent of it.
And another thing I feel is, when certain women decide to marry early or take on very traditionally feminine roles, in their lives, they're looked down upon. Like a lot of people texted me saying, bro, I never imagined you would get married so early.
Yeah.
Like for some reason that is like a negative sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now I get why people would say that, mostly because back in the olden days they would get their girl children married off at the earliest possible age and then just train her to cook, clean, and do all of that. So for a lot of people,
that's imbibed.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, I feel feminism for a lot of like ladies out there is being financially independent.
Correct.
है ना? And not marrying early because they see marriage as as jail or as an obstacle to their career. And I mean, if that's what you think it is, then okay, fine. Maybe there's a certain age that you think you want to get married or.
We got married when we were 24. It's an ideal age.
According to like cultural or society.
Yeah, 24 to 28 ke beech mein, you see, honestly, you can get married whenever you want, when you feel you're ready, right? We felt we were ready. And we got married it was a choice. Nobody has to force us into
Both of
it.
us, we married for love. I mean, if
Yeah.
love marriage is for both of us.
Yeah.
And, we decided at that point that, okay, I feel I am emotionally mature and I am emotionally ready
Hmm.
to get married. And that's why we got married at 24 or 25, whatever age we were.
Hmm.
And for certain ladies, they do not want to get married until they're 40 because they want to focus on their career. They want to provide for the parents, or they want to, achieve something of their own. And that's, I mean, you do
You
you,
do
bro.
you. Yeah, you
You
go.
do you, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, one more thing I've realized is
Yeah.
a lot of, I've seen this a lot of times.
Hmm.
The income that a man earns
Hmm.
is family income,
Hmm.
but the income that a lady earns is like
Her
her
income.
luxury income
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
sure, like ladies also contribute to, families, and
Hmm.
certain times it's ladies only who contribute.
Contribute.
Like, for example, if you take an example of most maids, okay, most
Hmm.
house helps,
Correct.
these
The men
ladies,
are unemployed.
the men are unemployed or they're
Hmm.
drunk and they, don't earn anything.
Yeah.
And then these ladies earn
She only.
and they work, their work is that housework,
Hmm.
बाहर भी, and घर जाके भी वो housework ही करना वो.
Correct. Correct. But that's the only income that's running their family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And traditionally, see, a lot of women,
Hmm.
they prefer, taking the role of a housewife or a
Hmm.
homemaker.
Hmm.
And, people look down upon that. I mean,
Yeah.
bro, the role of a homemaker is the most thankless
Yeah.
job.
And it's the most
Difficult,
difficult job you can ever do.
unpaid, if you calculate the economic cost
Of
of,
a house.
of a homemaker,
Yeah.
just for example,
Yeah.
let's take a traditional mother,
Hmm.
okay? She cooks, cleans, takes care of the house, takes care of the children.
Hmm.
Now, this is a job role, if we can call it that, that is very specified, very curated for for that person or for that family.
Hmm.
And if you had to buy that outside, for example, let's say you need to hire a cook,
Hmm.
a
Nanny.
cleaner, a nanny,
Hmm.
a tutor,
Hmm.
all these 4 or 5 things for your child or for your family,
Yeah.
it would easily take you 50 to 60, maybe 1 lakh per month.
Aram se.
Whereas this labor, you're not paying for it. So
You-
it comes off to you as cheap. And
Cheap.
sometimes you look down upon it.
Hmm.
And for me, that is sort of toxic feminism, where
Yeah.
you look down upon a person who has chosen to take a more traditional or more feminine
Yeah.
role. I mean, it's her choice, bro. She's having fun. She likes
Let
cooking
her
for her
be.
man. She likes taking care of her kids. That's
Let
good for
her
her.
be. Yeah.
है ना?
I was just telling you the story about my super boss and my boss, right? So I'm not going to take the name of the company where I worked, and I worked in 2, 3 companies, so you can, guess it. But there was this one time where my boss's boss, okay, so she's like super, super boss. She was walking into a meeting, and then she gets a phone call, and she steps aside right before walking into a meeting. She steps aside to answer the call, right? And where she answered the call, it was diagonal to my desk.
So you could hear everything.
I could hear it. And, because it's pin drop silence, you can hear the other person also on the phone. Not very clearly, but faintly. So it was her son, and the son was calling in to say, Mama, Mama, where's the remote? Right? And because I used to work in the night, uh, obviously my super boss was like, why are you awake at this time? He's like, no, because I can't find the remote and I didn't have my TV time. She's like, okay, check in the desk, the drawer beside the, nightstand. It's probably in there. And he's like, no, I checked, it's not there. And then she's very calm, and she's like, can you please check again for Mama? I think it'll be there. Please check once again. And then I think he did again, and he found the remote or something. And then he's like, okay, I found the remote. So she was telling him that ठीक है चलो, half an hour TV time, and then you have to sleep. And before she could even finish the sentence, the son got excited and he cut the call. And she just walks back into the meeting, being the empowered woman that she is. This is one side of the story. And then cut to someday, me and my boss, it's a he, we were sitting and having a one-on-one conversation. And then his son calls him. And he just asked me, can I take this call for a minute? I said, yeah, of course, go ahead. And then his son says, Papa, I want to have noodles. So he's like, you know what, I'm in a meeting right now. I'll order the noodles in some time. He's like, no, 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 I want to eat it right now. So he says, okay, give me a minute. And he quickly places the order on Swiggy or whatever app. And he tells him that, okay, I've placed the order. It will be there in 20-25 minutes. Now do not irritate or trouble anybody else at home. It'll come. Just let it be. And then he resumes back to the one-on-one conversation. So my point in these two stories were that generally, if it was just the women, right, it'd be like, see, she's also being a mother while she's a boss, right? But it's also the men, because most of the time we take men to be like, they
They're
wouldn't
not in,
care about
yeah,
the
हाँ ठीक
family.
है, मम्मी
हाँ,
संभाल लेगी
मम्मी को
वैसे.
देखो. But and at that time, I know that my boss's wife, the mother, was at home, so he could have very easily said, "Mama को जाके बोलो," right? But he didn't. He took that time that my son needs something and he's calling me. Let me fulfill a duty of being a father, right? And there are so many times where men also do things, but I think they just don't make as much noise as women does, and it just bothers me so much. Where it's just that, hi bichari. I'm like, nahi hai.
There's another side of the story to that. I've read a lot of random anecdotes on social media where the mother is cooking, cleaning, taking care of the baby, changing diapers, nappies, and all of that, and then the father is like, okay, I'll take the child for a walk. Okay, and the father goes on on a walk with the child in the stroller or whatever, and random people see, and then like, oh my god, look, the father is so involved and this and that, and they're just putting this father in a pedestal where he has not done any work, and the lady has taken a huge emotional mental load. There are always various scenarios where it's like completely opposite, and each person's scenario is always different. And this reminds me, bro. On social media, we see a lot of women in their, say, 40s, 50s. They start working out again. And, they lose a lot of weight. They feel more confident. And they wear clothes in which they feel good, maybe feel sexy, may feel more confident. And sometimes those clothes are very different from what they wore in the past, like maybe a sleeveless t-shirt or a short or a crop top or something. And then I see a lot of comments on these posts saying, "ए auntie, क्या कर रही है तू अपनी साड़ी पहनना, ये पहनना," and that just feels very shitty because women, mostly, they feel very insecure about their body. Like, this is because of the mainstream media. I'll tell you one more thing that I read about, okay? It just remind me Razor. Okay, now this mainstream media ki wajah se, a lot of women feel insecure, and when they lose weight, they feel more attractive, they feel more nice, and they start dressing up in a more confident way. They feel that sense of freedom in their choice of clothing, and they tend to wear more attractive, more maybe revealing clothes, and they're put down for that as well. And if you dress up like a nun, ऐसे साड़ी पहन के या कुर्ता पहन के, people will call you out for that also. देख इसको auntie ये वो, and they use auntie very derogatory term. Like, why is being an auntie a bad thing?
And like when you were talking about insecure about the body, I was insecure about my body for the longest time. Like, I would never wear anything sleeveless because I was very insecure about how my arms looked, right? And she would have such a difficult time to find
I would have
gifts for me.
Field day every birthday of hers to see. I would always tell Kita that she's a very attractive woman, very beautiful, and I've always said that to her. And her husband appreciates her beauty very much and all of that. And she looks very good in sleeveless clothes as well. And I would make it a point to tell her. But until and unless she herself felt comfortable enough to wear a sleeveless, cloth or whatever, I would not impose it on her. So it would be a field day for me to find the most pinkiest dress with full length sleeves.
Because the kind of outfits that I usually would go for are very like cottage core or with like bows and all, and those kind of dresses are always sleeveless because it's very princessy and all of that, and just it's a struggle to find. But now I've started not that often, but I've started wearing sleeveless every now and then. And
another thing is, I feel like some of our insecurities come from generational insecurities. Like, I know that my mother, when she got married, even when she had my younger sister, she kept telling me that I was around 45 kgs, and she's the same height as me, 5'2", 5'3", and she was very confident about her body, and she would wear anything. But as she aged very gracefully though, she would she would start wearing slightly more loose-fitting clothes, and she got a little conscious about her body, and she would keep googling how to lose belly fat, and that sort of transferred to me. And I still have that tiny bit of insecurity regarding belly fat, and even though I know it's very normal now, I know that it's there for a biological reason and all of that, but there's still that insecurity, and that comes from either from your own family or from social media or from the people that you are around.
Correct. And it's very क्या कहते हैं, it's very sad that there's not much that we can do about it, because you can't go and shut everybody's mouth and change everybody's opinion. Like how we are entitled about our opinion, so is somebody else, right? But I feel like you can do what you want as long as it's not affecting anybody else around you. मतलब आपकी मर्जी तब तक ही चलेगी जब तक किसी और को बुरा ना लगे, या फिर
and this thing I told you about razor, no? So I read this fun fact. Okay, now how mainstream ladies on media, they're portrayed as absolute hairless babies with only hair on their eyebrow and hair head and all of that. You know how that came to be? So basically, back in the time, ये company है ना Gillette बोल के, which sells razors, their sale became a little stagnant. Now this is something I read. It may or might not be true. But disclaimer, just sharing. So their sales sort of became stagnant. So what their consumer was only male. Okay, they wanted to expand their target market. They started selling razors to females as well, saying smooth hairless legs, smooth hairless arms, use this razor. And there that culture started a little of short clothes, revealing attractive clothes, whatever you want to call it. And that's where that hairless body for ladies sort of started. Underarm shaving or waxing and all of that. That's where it started.
See, there's one thing about, shaving, especially underarms for hygiene. That's a different issue. But having smooth legs and having these silky smooth hands, it's a task to,
and it's expensive also.
To maintain that.
What funny thing, okay? So recently I got my eyebrows done. So Umang comes up to me and he's like very close, okay? And he looks and he does this.
Oh shit.
I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, तुम्हारी भी मूछें आ रही. I'm like, it's normal hair, okay? Everybody has.
And I mean, we don't go up to men and be like, तुम्हारी मूछें आ रही है और तुम्हारी मूछें नहीं आ रही है. I mean, it's facial hair, and it's unlike us, it doesn't have a gender. It comes, everybody gets it.
And the opposite side of it is, some men, they are genetically like hairless. मतलब उनको नहीं आती दाढ़ी मूछें. Like there's a certain ये geographical location, जैसे पहाड़ी लोग होते हैं ना, they don't even Asian, like ये Chinese, Korean, Japanese, these males, इनके जो biological male होते हैं, उनको ज्यादा दाढ़ी मूछें they don't get.
Even my husband, I'm sorry to cut you off, but he doesn't get hair on his legs and hands as much, right? And
people view it as a very girly thing, and they put it down. You're a man, you don't have hair, such a bad thing. मतलब what?
Like, poor thing, उसको नहीं आ रहे, what can he do?
And okay, if you're hairless and if your legs look a little more feminine, why is that a bad thing?
Why is that? I know, we have it. I mean, if it's on a woman, it's the most attractive thing for you. But if it's on a man,
so basically, what these people like, इनके दिमाग में what is there is, if you're a man and you look a little girly, that's bad, because girls are a lower sort of whatever you want to call it. So that's like the sort of thing that they have, and that was what my perception was back in school. And एक और चीज I noticed is, I go to the gym.
Yeah.
है ना पहले I've been going to the gym from a very long time.
Hmm.
And there was a trainer there, very friendly guy, very nice guy. And for the longest time, like for a month and like for 2-3 months, none of the people in the gym would ever approach me. And I look very unapproachable, okay? Like I always have like a straight face and I
Yeah.
rarely smile because that's the kind of mode I am in when I work out. Another thing is I have a lot of tattoos on my body. So they thought I was like a bitchy bitch sort of person.
They wouldn't be wrong.
No, they are wrong. I'm a very nice person, okay? I smile at times and all.
Let other people tell that.
But a lot of people have this, prejudice towards certain people that if you look a certain way,
You are that.
you are that.
Yeah, they judge the book by its cover type. Yeah.
है ना? A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes what happens is, gym mein, a lot of ladies, they also dress up very nice, very gym aesthetic, very nice, a very cute sports bra, nice shorts, or a gym skirt, or whatever. And I could hear, other ladies saying, hey, look at what she's wearing. She's such a, asking for
there's a
it.
saying कि औरत ही औरत की दुश्मन है. It is such a true
It does not
saying.
have to be true, but people make it true, bro.
Yeah.
Okay? And there was one older lady, maybe she was in her early 50s or late 50s, okay?
In the gym?
Yeah, in the gym. And crazy, she would come
Yeah.
every day and she would work out for her health or whatever it is. And she was very jovial. She would talk to everybody and all of that. And this one trainer, he comes up to me and he tells me that, what this lady was telling about you, as in me, कि देखो इसको कैसे कपड़े पहनती है. She's asking for it करके. And
on the other hand, you were thinking कि wow, look at her.
And on the other hand, another trainer comes up to me and tells me about this lady that she goes to every other male person in the gym and like does touchy and talks to them पूरा ऐसे अच्छे ऐसे थोड़ा flirty and all that. I'm like, why to have that double standard? Why to have that prejudice only? Like the same gym trainers only come and they'll be so nice to you on your face and you never know what they say behind your back. So I to give zero shits.
Yeah.
I'm going there, doing my work, and coming back. This is like in a gym setting.
Yeah.
Another setting is family mein. Like, now that we're married, you see how the thing you said, no, औरत ही औरत का दुश्मन, okay? This is there in the family dynamics as well.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of mother-in-laws, what they do is they pass on generational trauma to their daughter-in-laws. उनके साथ बुरा हुआ है तो वो भी वैसे करता है. Now, both of us, we've been very fortunate to get like very nice, very forward-thinking mother-in-laws who are very supportive of us. In fact, they support us when they don't support their sons also. Like, we've been lucky with that.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of other people. And
it's very sad to look at it because, see, my point is, let's take my mom for example, right? Her mother-in-law was not very nice. To put it in a simple this thing, and when the mother-in-law is not being nice, you don't have a tape on your mouth, right? Speak up. I feel like unless you stand up and you say that you have a problem with certain this, that, it's not going to stop. Nobody's going to get a dream saying, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Because if they were aware of things that they were doing that were incorrect, they wouldn't be doing it in the first place. So somebody has to, stand up and speak up and be like, stop treating me like I'm an object. But that is a whole another topic that
we'll delve into some other time.
Yeah.
But there's always a sense of judgment that is there for women. And another thing I want to talk about is how men comment. Not all the men. And bro, all us women out here in the world, every single one of us, we know it's not all men. But
take the ownership of it. Like, let's say if one guy, okay, and for example, let's say I'm a host, right? And you come to my house for dinner, right? And something wrong happens. Like, I will apologize to you on behalf of somebody else because I'm the host. You get what I'm saying? Like, because I'm the male gender, I will, apologize to the women on behalf of the entire male gender that has done horrible things. Am I making sense? Like, for example,
Mm.
when men say that not all men do this, not all men do this, we know it's not all men, but it's not gonna hurt you to be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
few men do this,
do, and
and they are wrong.
yeah, and we acknowledge that fact, and we're sorry about it.
Mm. And honestly, I think being conscious about
Yeah.
what you're talking about, I'm not telling you to be woke or anything,
Yeah.
but just for an example, maybe don't crack jokes at the expense of your wife, at the expense of your mother. Like, I remember that scene from that English picture where the husband tells, "Oh, my wife, Shashi, she is so born for making laddus,"
Laddus.
and she feels so, belittled
Yeah.
at that point. Ki,
Yeah.
bhai, my existence is only for making laddus.
I
Kya? Like,
know.
don't I do anything else?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny until a point, I feel like, but after that, it's just mean.
Yeah.
When you because how much can you joke about the same thing again and again? It does become a little like, for example, if somebody who's close to me would tell me that, haha, you're so fat, right? Once I laugh about it, twice I laugh about it, but third time it's actually gonna linger in my
Effect. Yeah.
mind.
That okay. This person has said it so many times. Do I really need to lose weight?
Exactly.
Bro, one thing I learned.
Mm.
Okay, if you want to tell somebody something
Yeah.
about their appearance,
Yeah.
and they cannot change that thing about their appearance
Yeah.
within 30 seconds,
Mm.
then don't say it. For
Correct.
example, if there's something on your face or there's
Yeah.
something stuck in your teeth and
Yeah.
you can wash it off,
Yeah.
then I'll tell you. If your
Yeah.
lipstick is smudged, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
If you have a pimple on your face and you cannot change that pimple in 30 seconds, I am not going to mention it.
Correct.
Simple. If
Why bother someone with it? It's not like they don't know it. Like, if I have a pimple on my face, I know there's a pimple on my face. Why point it out and make me uncomfortable now? Because I know they're gonna keep looking at that pimple.
I'm gonna go back home and stare at that pimple.
Exactly. Why?
And then every photo I take, I'm gonna look at that pimple in zoom. You're making that other person feel uncomfortable, feel conscious about
Just
that
put it to
thing.
yourself. Sometimes shutting up also can solve a lot of
And
things.
a lot of these times, a lot of these things that happen, they happen sometimes in female friendships, okay? Like, let's just say they're two friends. Let's just take you and me, for example, and let's say we do not have the healthiest relationship. Yeah. Okay. So,
Did you actually spit?
yeah, I actually spat. Okay, nazar is real.
True.
Okay,
That
nazar
correct.
is real, and
Yeah.
I've learned that
Yeah.
the hard way.
We have to get that thing.
Yeah, that nazar thing. Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
So, what I was saying is sometimes what happens is, let's just say, conventionally, मतलब ऐसे traditionally, maybe you are more attractive than me in a traditional sense, okay? Like, if you look at the North Indian way, you're fairer and whatever, blah, 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 you're straight hair. That's like the traditional pretty ideal as woman, whatever they portray on mainstream media, straight hair,
Right.
fair and whatever that is, bullshit, okay? And in a healthy friendship, neither of us would point it out and we'd be supportive of each other. But sometimes what happens is it becomes competitive. Okay, you look very nice and I feel insecure, so I tell you don't wear this, you wear something else. No, don't put so much makeup.
It has happened to me, I had this one friend. I don't want to mention it, but it was see, if it's your birthday, no, I will do anything but to outshine you because it's your day, right? And I'm very conscious about it. But no matter what I wear, if
It's gonna be your birthday.
yeah, and if you're just insecure about the fact that I am better looking than you are, instead of I don't know, being appreciative of the fact, but um, if you're just going to be insecure, no matter what I wear, you're going to be insecure of it, and it has happened. So I had this one friend, and it was her birthday or something, or we were going to go meet her boyfriend. I don't know, something had happened, and I was wearing this really cute dress, and she looks at me and she goes and she's like, "You look very cute. Can you go change?" Can you imagine? And I was in like what, eighth or ninth grade, and I'm like, what? And I was so
And
stupid.
coming from a best friend,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I was so stupid. I was like, "ठीक है." I went and I changed also. But yeah, these things happen. I hope she's a changed person now, or not. God help her. But it's, I don't know. It's just
I
sad.
feel like if you're just confident in yourself,
Yeah,
that unhealthy competition, that
yeah,
insecurity, that does not come.
yeah. See, we have different strengths, me and her. Like she's mentioned, I'm a North Indian, she's a South Indian, right? And we married
Opposites.
opposite. Like,
I married a North Indian, she married a South Indian.
correct.
In fact, we've married the male counterparts of each
Each
other.
other. Yeah, and it's she has it's. I mean, in terms of beauty, she's for me, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, right? She has these amazing features, they're very sharp, they're very, in place.
I remember long back in like college or something,
Yeah.
you were obsessed with my nose. You went home, you told Ekta auntie also that I have a nose that you can
Yeah.
slide off.
I still say that. She's got a very straight nose, right? And I still say that I was telling it to Varun also the other day. I was like, her nose, I can just put one Hot Wheels car on it and it'll just slide down, right? And yeah, and I find her very attractive no matter how she dresses. And I like her confidence about the outfits that she pulls off. And I'm not, I'm,
Like that lesbian energy we have for each other.
yeah.
Like every time I go out and I see one, like me and my mom, we look at one dress, we're like, oh, it looks so nice on Kita, and we're just appreciative of each
Each
other, and
other.
we've
Yeah.
never had that insecurity among
Yeah.
ourselves because we've been very confident in our
In
own
our,
bodies.
correct. The other day for the previous episode, I walked into her house and she opens the door and she looks at me and she's like, looking nice. And it is so sweet because, it's just, I was blushing also a little. I was like, okay, thanks. It's just the little things. Even now, I was just sitting while she was setting up the camera just to see, and she just looks at me and she's like, "Oh, so nice you look." It's just very sweet because, and you can only be appreciative of the other person if you're secure about yourself or how you feel. If you are insecure about your own self, then everybody in the world is
Bro, I
not
read
gonna be
this
good.
one more story, bro. I think I read it on Reddit or something.
Mm,
So apparently, this one married woman,
yeah,
she had another friend, okay, like her
yeah,
best friend or something.
yeah,
And this lady, she was very attractive, okay.
yeah.
And the husband of this married lady,
Mm,
he tells this lady one
mm.
that, oh, your friend is very attractive. I have a crush on your friend. And that's like such an unnecessary thing to
Yeah,
do. And the poor lady, she felt insecure and she told the other friend that please don't dress up too much or wear too makeup when you're around my husband.
slap the husband, no. What thing?
So then this lady, she posted on Reddit saying, what should I do? Karke.
Yeah.
Then a lot of Redditors told her, see, listen, it's not your fault. It's
Yeah.
the husband who's at fault, who made his own wife feel
Feel
insecure. Tell this to
exactly.
your friend. And then later, that lady one, that friend, she understood and she came with like a bouquet of flowers to her friend's home. And she's
Aw.
like, I'm so sorry, lashed out on you. It's not even your fault. It was not even something that you were doing and it was my husband's fault. And they made up over it.
Yeah.
And that just comes with a lot of emotional maturity.
Correct. Yeah. Imagine.
That's just,
How do you walk up to someone and be like, look ugly?
yeah.
How do you look? So, the other day I was thinking, I think I saw it in a movie or somewhere where they talk something about, being taken care of or something along those lines. And honestly, I can take care of myself, but I don't mind being taken care of.
Like get ready at 7 p.m. Wear this dress for me, and I have
Yeah.
reservations made for this restaurant. Here's a bouquet of flowers like
Yeah,
that.
a lot of I've seen a lot of these feminists being like, I don't need a man to pay my bills. I can pay my own bills.
That's good.
Good for you, bro. You financially independent, good. But for me, if my man is paying my bill, I don't see that as my failure. I mean,
It's his love for
it's,
you.
yeah,
His love language is probably spending money
spending
or
money.
gifts or being vocal
Yeah,
about.
and there's another thing, if women do let the men spend, they'll call her a gold digger. I
Yeah.
mean, give it a break, guys. Kare to problem, na kare to problem. But I,
There are a few people who are actual gold diggers, okay?
that is there, but
That's
you can tell
there.
a difference, dude. Come on, like you go out for a date, and your man picks up a check. Okay, and I wanted to ask you this: who should pay on the first date, according to you?
Uh, my perspective, my opinion,
Yeah,
on all the dates that I've gone
yeah,
till date,
you've paid,
I either I've
split.
paid
Yeah.
or we've split.
Hmm.
I've never let another person pay fully because I've felt guilty when somebody else is doing that.
No, but other than that, who do you think ideally should pay on a date?
I think you should just split. That's like for me,
Right.
should split.
But the actual way is when you go on a date, who asked the person out should pay. Like if I ask you
Ah,
out, I should pay
that
because it
that
makes more sense,
makes
right?
more sense. Yeah, that actually makes more sense. Who
Yeah.
the person who asked the other person out,
Yeah.
that person if
Yeah,
should
and
pay.
it doesn't matter if it's a girl or a guy. And a lot of men has this thing where if it's a first date, especially if even if it's the girl who says let's go out on a date, they feel obligated to
To
make the
pay.
payment because that's a
They
gentleman.
they want to show the other person that they're financially secure because
Yeah,
that is the trait that several generations have admired in men.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean,
Hmm.
I feel like I don't want to say it's a gentleman quality, but even if the man doesn't pay, but if he offers, saying, let me handle it, maybe I'll be like, you know what, it's fine. I called you out. I want to make the payment, and I make the payment. But the fact that
That
he
they offer,
offered
yeah.
is a gentleman
Yeah,
quality.
now that you've said that,
Yeah,
yes, few people that I went out on dates with,
yeah,
and I offered to pay, and
yeah,
they didn't even say once that, okay, you know what, let's split the bill or let
yeah.
me pay. I've never felt very inclined to go out with them
Exactly.
again
Yeah.
because I didn't feel very equal with them, not
Yeah.
based financially but effort based.
Correct.
Like if I am putting an effort, I want you also to put an effort,
Effort. Yeah.
not money or anything.
Yeah.
Like dress up a little
Yeah.
or
Put in the effort to,
effort. It's about the
yeah,
effort, not about paying or anything. Like
yeah,
I've never desired finance as a quality in anybody.
in dating especially, yeah,
Never.
yeah. That was never a this thing,
Priority.
yeah. And it's funny where I read somewhere where the girl is like, I can take care of myself, and the guy says, yeah, I know, but let me do it for you. The sense that the guy knows that she is very much capable of doing it,
She does not need me financially.
but
I
I
want to put
still
in effort for
correct.
her.
It's very
That's what we
yeah,
appreciate.
yeah. And there was also this one like a TED Talk lady. She gives these motivational speeches and all of that. So she was saying the other day that a true masculine quality in a man is not to do whatever he wants, is to ask the feminine person, say, tell me what you want, and I'll get that done for you. Not that she can't do it herself, or not that because he's a man, he can just, do whatever he wants, but to have the ability to fulfill whatever she wants to do and do it for her,
Without asking.
asking for it.
Hmm.
Like, it's like, see, men are very instruction based from personal experience, right?
They need manuals.
Correct.
But they will not read that instructional manual.
That's
But they need it.
that's a different story. But my point is, you know, I feel like every relationship fails when the women are like, he should know this already.
Yeah. You gotta
Trust
be
me. Yeah. You
good at
have to tell
communication.
them that I want this. And even after that, they don't do it, then it's a red flag.
Like,
But
I want to give an example.
yeah.
A lot of people like getting flowers. I like getting flowers too, but I've never been vocal about it because
It's a
of my
thing.
toxic feminism back in
Yeah,
the
like
day,
I don't want to tell you that I want flowers.
Yeah, but I want flowers. Like, even
Yeah.
I like pink things and all.
Yeah.
Okay, on an occasion.
Hmm.
So I've always wanted flowers, but I've never said it explicitly.
Yeah.
But and my now husband, he he did not know that about me. So one day I told him, listen, even I like flowers, and once in a while, if you get like, even if you get like a single rose, I will feel nice that, oh, you at least thought about it, and you got like a rose for me. And I told it to him once. And ever since I've told it to him, no, he makes it a point to just randomly get me flowers, or just one rose or something.
Sweet.
Yeah, and recently he flew back from his hometown, and I was thinking, chalo, I'll buy flowers for him. But on the way, I couldn't find any florist, so I never ended up buying. And then when he got out of the airport, I saw a bouquet of flowers in his hand, and I was like, he got me flowers. Karke. So yeah, it's you've got to be okay.
Vocal about it.
You've got to be vocal about it, and you also need to be okay with having your masculine side or feminine side show up.
Correct.
Like, for you've always been in your feminine energy.
Yeah.
And for most part of my life, I've always been in my masculine energy.
Yeah.
Like, when I say masculine energy, I mean, I've always been a little more assertive, a little more dominant. I like doing things in a certain way, and I will do it for people.
Correct.
Without the need for them telling me to do it.
Yeah.
And I have a provider kind of mindset.
Energy, yeah.
But when I am in a relationship,
yeah,
with whoever it is, a man, woman, whatever your preference is. I am straight, so I married my husband. After like the longest time, my husband is the only person who has been able to bring out my feminine energy outside.
True, yeah. She started wearing dresses that are not black. She started putting bows in her hair once in a while. He
made me
realize that,
it's okay to be feminine, and it's okay to be taken care of sometimes. And I am still not like completely feminine, completely masculine energy or whatever. But me and Umang, we balance each other out. Like, sometimes he cooks for me, and other times I am in a very traditional role where sometimes I cook, clean, and take care of the house, and sometimes he does that. So we balance each other out, and for me that is feminism, where I am being given the opportunity to be in my own energy, be it feminine or masculine.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's no point where I've thought, where Varun says, no, stop doing night shift. You will stay at home. That's never been the case. In fact, if anybody says that, why are you making her do night shift? He always said, because she wants to do.
He has always advocated for you all the time. Very supportive.
He's like, no, because she wants to do. But as long as my health is intact. Now, minute my health started taking a toll, he put his foot down and he said, you know what? I think you should take a break. And that too with very, kya kehte hain?
Like, in a polite tone.
No, he was very careful with his words.
Because he knew you would take offense. Because for you, that is freedom. Like, being able to work on your own.
I enjoyed doing my job, right? And I quit for a lot of different reasons. But I think that's pretty much it for this episode. In the next episode, we will talk about marriage. Din, din, din. I feel like it should come with a noise like
drum roll.
Yeah,
but that's going to be a very, very extensive topic, and we will break it down into several mini topics. Because marriage is like, it's a whole...
Let me put it this way. I can give you a detailed description of what it's going to be like, and you'll still be surprised when you walk into it.
Yes, that is true. And it does not matter if it's an arranged or a love marriage.
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay, it's marriage, basically. So stay tuned for the next episode. It's gonna get a lot more interesting,
exciting.
And it'll be very anecdotal, very insightful. It'll maybe help you out if you're getting married or if you're already married. And coming from personal experience, you will have that opportunity to not make the mistakes that we've made, and it'll be like a better, like a bunny, like that trampoline sort of thing for you, where you can take off where we just stepped on.
Yeah, and if you are already married and you've done the things that we've done or faced it,
Comment.
and you will have a good laugh about it.
Yeah, yeah.
ये तो मेरे साथ भी हो चुका है. And we'll try and give you a perspective about women in marriage, and
maybe someday we'll introduce our husbands, our what do we say, equal half,
better half.
Not better, okay. They are definitely better with us in their life.
We are their better half.
We are their better half. They are our half. They are our half. No, they're very, very nice husbands.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
we have to. It's like a gun point on our head.
Controversial. Anyways, you all comment down about what feminism means to you, about what toxic feminism means to you, or if you had any stories where you've done some sort of bullshit, or if somebody else has done some sort of bullshit with you.
Yeah, or if you have a different opinion about feminism. If you're a woman or a man watching this, and you think we're correct, or you agree with us,
or you do not agree with us, constructive criticism. Maybe we could learn something new from you all.
Correct.
So comment down below and, share this with your friends. Hit that subscribe button.
The bell icon.
Yeah, show us some love.
Please. Yeah.
And we'll see you all in the next episode.
Bye. I hope it's all recorded. I'm gonna cry otherwise.
Yeah, it's recorded.